What's up guys, and welcome to the final installment of the Holy Trinity of lenses. Today is the final installment, so it is the big one, the big daddy. It is the 70-200. So this is the big daddy. This is the 70-200 F2.8 G Master from Sony, and yes, it's massive. In comparison to the 24-70, yeah, it's a good size difference, and it weighs probably twice as much as what this does. If you do wedding photography and you rock up with this, or any kind of event, everybody in the room knows that this is the photographer's lens. They know that this is the big bad boy because it's grey. And if you want it to look even more impressive, then you can just take the lens hood off, flip it around how it should be. Look at that. It's massive. So the 70-200 lens, where do I even begin? It was the first G Master lens that I bought out of the three. So why did I buy that? It's because I got into doing weddings, and that is where this comes into its own. This is a must-have for most wedding photographers, and I'll be honest, when it comes to weddings, this is used 99% of the time. And then alongside that, I use my 24-70. Now, why is this so good for weddings? When it comes to weddings or any kind of event, any kind of portraiture where you're taking photos of the general public and attendees, and you want to get photos of them people acting very candid, this can shoot someone, not literally, but it can take a photo of somebody from the other side of the room and it look amazing, and they don't know you're there. If you was to go up with a 16-35, they see a camera and they go, oh, photo. And it's just really awkward. Nobody wants that. I don't want that. I just want people to have a good time and not even know I'm there. I want to be the photographer who's, wait, there's a photographer here? That's where this comes in. I'm a bit of a introverted photographer when it comes to weddings. I like to be out of the way. So that's why I got this. Obviously, I've mentioned that I shot a couple of weddings when I first started out on a 28-70, and the 70mm is good enough to do weddings with. But when the 70mm stops and you just need that little bit more range, this is amazing. And because it's 200mm, at 200mm the background just falls away to pure golden, beautiful, blissful creaminess. I don't know how else to explain it. It's just gorgeous. Not only that, but it is an amazing landscape lens. Wait, hold on. 2 videos ago, you said that the 16mm was a great landscape lens. How can 200mm be a great landscape lens? Because 16mm only gets the wide angles of the landscape. It doesn't get no details. All of these photos were taken at 200mm or around 200mm on this lens, and it's something that 16mm will never be able to achieve, no matter how much you crop in. Not only that, but I used to love this lens when I was shooting, doing car photography on a daily basis. This literally can be used for a good amount of photos, but not all photos. The reason it can't be used for all photos is because the minimal focal distance on this is a meter, like a whole meter. Like, I know you ain't gonna be that close when you shoot at 200mm, but if you're in a small room, then why would you use a 70-200? It's just not gonna happen. So you couldn't do a full shoot just on 70-200 if you was going to do certain projects like a wedding. You couldn't just shoot 70-200. You could do portraits on this, yes, but that's about it. Like, I wouldn't feel comfortable just walking around with a 70-200. Now, there are times when I set myself a challenge and I'll go and do a shoot and just try one lens, but I always find myself using something a little bit wider. And that's why the 24-70, as I said before, is I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just gonna take this and hope for the best kind of lens. But yeah, the 70-200 definitely has a place in my camera bag when it comes to events. Wildlife photography though, this is great. It would be nice to have a little bit more reach. You could probably get a teleconverter for it, or just go out and buy a 100-400, but it's very good for doing wildlife and details, and it's just good for that. Videography, on the other hand, I don't like using this at all. This is just too big, it's too clunky. You can fly it on a DJI Ronin, but you can't really do much with it. It's a little bit too heavy for the DJI Ronin, I'll be honest. I've only shot on this once for videography, and that's when I first got it. I shot a conference from the opposite end of the room, from the very back of the room. I had to get in on the speaker. That's where 200mm comes in. But other than that, no, I don't like it. I don't use it. For videography, your opinion may differ, but for me, yeah, no, this lens is never gonna ever get into a video. Maybe one shot, perhaps, at a push, but it's so big and so heavy, like, you know when you've got this in your camera bag. I ain't gonna carry this around all day just for one shot. I'll make do with whatever I've got. 70mm, crop in a little bit, 4K, yeah, 105, I can make that work for me. 200mm, no, I'm alright, thanks. This gets left at home. In fact, I barely use this in the last year whilst weddings haven't been going on. But you, my friend, are gonna be used a hell of a lot in the coming weeks. Be prepared. So, the 70-200, does it have a place in your camera bag? Well, if you're a specialized photographer, like I said, if you're doing a lot of weddings or events, this is probably the kind of lens you want to go for. If you're wanting to do wildlife, I probably wouldn't get this. I'd probably go for something like a 100-400 or a 200-600. One of my friends has a 100-400, and yeah, it's good. If you're a videographer on the other hand, me personally, I just wouldn't ever get this, ever. Save your money, buy something better. Buy a 24-70 and some primes, or buy an A7S III because they're dope. Now, am I glad I've got this lens? Absolutely. Like, this hasn't been used in maybe a year and a half because of COVID, but weddings are finally getting underway, and like I've said, this gets used at events all the time. So when it comes around to 2 weeks time, this will be used all the time, every time, forever. It's amazing. But when it comes to videography, no, not a chance. And that is it for this series of the holy trinity of lenses. We've done the 16-35, the 24-70, and finally the big daddy, the 70-200. Please let me know your thoughts of the three lenses down in the comment section below. I'd love to see how other people like to use their lenses, whether it's for paperweights like this, or whether they actually use it on a daily basis, like the 16-35 and 24-70. Just saying. If you want to see more from me, then don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next video. Laters.